Welcome back to Sunday Medz. This week I want to talk about wolves in sheep clothing. Sometimes I think we carry around this image that the wolf in sheep clothing is like a cartoon image of a wolf with just a sheepskin on top, but when the viewer is watching the cartoon, it's very clear to see it's a wolf. Or a wolf in sheep clothing is like Superman, and the viewer is looking at the movie saying, come on, Clark Kent, like that's not a disguise, just a pair of glasses. Anybody can tell that Clark Kent is Superman. You're the same person, just with glasses on and your hairstyle slightly different. But in real life, wolves in sheep clothing, it's more like Judas in the midst of the disciples, where the disciples did not know that Judas was the betrayer. That's why they were asking all the questions, Master, is it me? And Jesus had to give them a sign to clue them in to who it was, because just by outward appearances or even living, eating, working with this person, Judas, they somehow just did not pick up that there was a betrayer in their midst. The wolf in sheep clothing is someone that is going to fit in. They're going to look like everybody else, sound like everybody else, act like everybody else. It will just take a spiritual discerning and practice eyes and increased wisdom to really be able to discern that one thing is not like the others. Oftentimes, the wolf in sheep clothing is someone that is strategically placed in a group of people, in a church, in a workplace, in a family, in a community, to mess things up. This could be the pastor, it could be someone that is respected and revered, or someone that's very personable, a neighbor, someone that's very friendly, someone that has been injected into your life strategically, that may have influence with you, over you, and someone that is close to you, just as Judas was in the midst of the disciples. I remember watching a video on Facebook of a lady sharing her testimony right here in Jamaica in church. And she said she went to a nightclub, this was before she got saved, and she was actually recruited in the nightclub here in Jamaica by a guy. She ended up going back to his apartment, and I think she was drugged out, but she ended up drinking something that was red out of a cup that she believes might have been blood, but she was kind of out of it, and she basically sold herself to the devil through this man. So the man told her that she was now recruited into the occult, basically, and his first assignment for her was to go to a church, sit in the service, and do her best to distract people from paying attention to the sermon, which might sound whack, it might sound very simple, but this was her testimony. And so what she did was, while the sermon was going on, or worship or whatever during the service, she would distract the person beside her by just making conversation or something like that. And then she would go outside and make conversation with people outside church so that they would remain distracted outside of the church building instead of actually sitting through the sermon, listening, paying attention, and benefiting from the fellowship of the service. So let us remain alert and sober-minded as the Bible encourages us to do, and feel free to refer to the last Dream Nugget video that I posted called Liar Liar, which lays out how I've really learned through my dreams how deceptive the enemy is. He is the father of lies. He lies very easily and he lies very well. So the wolf in sheep clothing, it's not going to pop out at you just by your physical senses. It will take spiritual discernment to judge these people as wolves that are coming to harm, to steal, to kill, and to destroy, rather than sheep, which you should be in fellowship with. I love what the Message version says in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 12. Don't be so naive and self-confident. Forget about self-confidence. It's useless. Cultivate God confidence. So again, be encouraged. Don't judge every situation by your physical senses, what you can see around you and how well people are blending in. They're on the choir, they sit beside you in church, you see them all the time, they appear so nice and friendly. That is the best disguise for a wolf in sheep clothing. No wolf is going to jump out and say, hi, I'm a wolf. So I pray that the Lord will continue to shine his light into the dark places and to expose all the wolves and false teachings and false prophets among us, so that we can be in true and good fellowship and continue to advance the kingdom of God here on earth as it is in heaven. Be encouraged. See you next time.